Hello, this is Shadow and welcome back to another scrap mechanic tutorial video. Today I'll be showing you how to build an automatic farm that goes undetected by the farmbots. This farm has to be built at least 260 blocks away from any other farm. In this chest I have all the parts required to build the farm. I will also place a full list of parts required in the description below. So let's start by grabbing some of the tier 3 metal, some building blocks, the soil, pistons, switches, as well as the large chest. So we'll start off by placing the soil bags, and it is preferred to place it on a fairly flat surface. Let's place it down 3 on the one side, we leave a gap and place 3 on the other side. Now we'll start placing the tier 3 metal. We'll build the blocks out by 9. So we'll count 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. We'll anchor to the ground and we'll go 3 up. Now let's build a frame around to prevent the farmbots from attacking the farm plots. This bit can be as big as you need. Okay, so now that the fence is built, now let's start by building the farm that will hold the whole farming mechanism. So on top of our fence, we will go up by 6 blocks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. Then we'll put our level 5 piston on top. Put some tier 3 metal on top of the piston. Now we'll start off by building 5 blocks out to the side. Then 3 blocks down. The same on the other side, we'll go 5 blocks out. Then 3 blocks down. That'll be the frame that holds the whole mechanism. So now let's go fetch our large chest. When placing the chest, make sure that you place the chest with the one port of the chest facing down and lines up in the middle of your farm plots. So now on top of the chest we will add our vacuum pumps as well as the vacuum pipe corner. On the bottom we'll place the first vacuum pump. On the side we'll add the vacuum corner with the pump on top, and now you'll see that it'll align with the farm. And then on each of these side pieces we will add a bearing. And then to mount the water pumps onto the bearing, we'll add one temporary PC on the side. Rotate the water pump so that it lines up with the bearing. And then let's remove the side piece. Now the water pump will hang down. And let's do the same on the other side. Add a temporary piece there. Then remove the additional piece. Now that that's the first part done, now we'll add the second large chest to the front of it, and then we will align it with the gap in the middle of the plots. So now if you place the vacuum pump, you'll see that it'll be aligned in the middle, and it'll be able to grab all the crops as soon as they have fully grown. So now the vacuum pump in front, we will change the direction so it sucks in. We'll point onto it and press E. You'll see now that the arrow will face in. Okay, so now let's start adding some of the logic. So we'll grab the level 2 controller as well as level 1 controller and all the other logic parts. Firstly, we'll place the level 2 controller. Now we'll connect the bearings to the level 2 controller. And then we'll set the starting position of each of the water pumps to 60 degrees. And always make sure that the rotation of the bearings is going up. So we'll right click on it so that the blue arrow faces up, and you'll see that the water pump will now facing the right direction. Okay, so now let's place down one of the switches as well as the level 1 controller. We will link the level 1 controller to the piston, and then link the switch to the level 1 controller. And to make sure that the piston runs back and forth to control the farm, we will set the level 1 controller. We'll set the second bit of the controller so that it extends the piston by 15 and then brings it back to 0. We'll set that on loop. Please make sure that the speed is on slow, otherwise it goes too fast. Now we can test this by pressing the switch on the side. You'll see it'll extend out, then come all the way back. Now we know that the system works. Now we can put up to the water. So on the back here, we'll extend out with our building blocks. We'll extend out all the way to the water. Then as soon as we're in the water, we then attach our water container to the end of it. Just make sure that the port is facing down into the water. Then we add a vacuum pump onto the bottom, as well as change the direction of the vacuum pump to go in by pointing onto the arrow and then pressing E. Now if you put on the switch on top of the water container and connect it to the vacuum pump, now if you switch it on, you'll see it will start sucking in the water, and the water container will start filling up. Now we'll connect the water container to the water pumps. Okay, so now that water pumps has been connected, now let's start adding the logic to the farm. We'll start by placing a wall here on the one side of the farm. Okay, so now we'll place the sensors on the side of each of the farm plots to detect if any crops has been planted in that row, as well as add a logic gate to the back of each of the sensors. We then set the logic gate to a NOR gate. Then we connect each of the sensors to the logic gates. And you will see that the logic gate switches on, which will then trigger the system to plant. Now we'll just connect up all of them. Okay, so now to build the rest of the farm, we'll add the side here. On the side here, we'll build up a little frame. And then we'll build it out by 4 and up 2 blocks. Now, in line with the water pump, we'll add a sensor, as well as on top of the piece extends one block up. Sensor on the left, you'll connect to the vacuum pump that sucks in the crops. And then we'll also now place a logic gate next to the sensor on the right. And then we'll connect that sensor to the logic gate. This logic gate can be kept at the default AND gate. Now let's build out another arm on the side here. And make sure it is at least 3 blocks away from the sensor. Now we'll go 4 blocks up, and then let's extend this out all the way to the end of the farm. So now we'll take our pistons, our level 1 pistons, and then in the center of each of the farm plots, we'll then add a piston on top. As well as add a block on top of each of the pistons. Now, to let the farm trigger when it goes past there, we will now add a link between the logic gate and one of the pistons. You can see the piston will then extend. It's the same for all the others. Okay, so now we can set the sensor on the right to have a range of 4, as well as the same with the sensor on the left. This will make sure that it detects each of these blocks above. You can test this by pressing the switch and letting the piston extend and retract. So let's press the button and you can check the sensors. Each time it passes by each of the blocks, you'll see the sensors will trigger. Now that we know that the farm works, let's go add the rest of the logic. At the back here, I'm going to place 4 logic gates. The logic gate on the left will connect to the water pump, and then to the vacuum pump facing down, as well as to the one on the right, and as well as to the other water cannon. Now, as soon as we send a signal to this logic gate, it will then trigger all of these to fire at once, which will then water the farm plot as well as plant the seeds. Now we will then connect logic gate behind the first sensor. We'll connect it to the first logic gate, second one to the second one, and the third one. Well, it's the third one. Now we'll change the logic gate that triggers the whole system. We'll change that to an XOR gate. Then we'll connect each of these sensors to the system. After this, we'll add a another link from the sensor on the left to link it to each of the 3 logic gates on the side. This will make sure that as soon as it passes by one of these blocks, that it will trigger the system. Now let's take some seeds, put it in the large chest at the back. And as soon as we start the system, it should run and plant a set of crops in each of the blocks. Okay, so now that we know the farm is working, let's wait for the crops to grow, and then I will show you how it collects and replants. Okay, so now that we are back, while I was waiting, I have made some minor adjustments to the farm. I realized that we built this wall too close to the farm. I extended this wall out by 1, as well as changed the range of each of the sensors to 2. And then one other change we need to make is to change the first logic gate to an OR gate instead of an XOR gate in the system perfectly. So now let's wait for the crops to finish growing. I have fertilized them to speed up the process, so they should sprout any second now. Okay, so now that all the crops have grown, let's activate the system to start harvesting the crops and plant our new ones. So now if we press the button, it will start harvesting them, and now it should plant the new crops. And there you have it, we built a fully automated farm that goes undetected by the farmbots. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.